Peace. This is Star with the Star Blooms. I wanted to come on really quickly. I just shared a post on Instagram and I wasn't able to actually transfer the message over here. So I am Star Blooms 1131 over there as well. But I wanted to basically share about the art of living life. A lot of times what we don't recognize, especially when dealing with the inner child, that the energy that we fear facing most is the energy that we've allowed ourselves to been warped in and been surrounded in, and we've taken on onus and ownership of, and we've allowed ourselves to be in deep association with this, wanting to self identify with the misinterpretation and the derogatory, like miscategorizing and mislabeling that we received in childhood, whether it be from friends, whether it be from family members, whether it be from communities, whether it be from entities and groups, whatever said energy shows up as or with the face on. A lot of times, what we don't understand is the reason why we associate with these things is because it's hard for us to be in the presence of the big thing that we've been present with this entire time. And the reason why it's difficult for us to be in the presence of the big thing, which is your essence, which is your energy, which is your wealth, which is your abundance, 1212, as I'm saying this right now, is because a lot of times we want to position ourselves to honor what they are speaking over us, what they are deciding for us. Spirit basically categorized these energies in the art of, so they would be in the art of no thing. The reason why they're in the art of no thing is because they're in the realization that they're in the presence of something, but because they don't know how to put their finger on it, because they don't know how to actually categorize it, right? Because they don't know where to place you at, right? They actually create this space for you where they can misinterpret you, they can mislabel you in the desire to actually give you something that they can themselves self identify with. A lot of people have a hard time being able to digest something greater on other people that they've yet to find within themselves. And some of us come into this world, into this vortex, into this construct, actually being in circumstances where we are in representation of our light and we're not really in a position to where we have to go find it. So a lot of people take on the job of basically dimming that light. Source said at this time we are in the art of living light. We are in the art of living expression. We are in the art of truth and representation. And the reason why this matters, the ability for you to walk into your witness season is your ability to actually go back to said events, go back to said circumstances, and take back the energy that was relinquished. Take back the energy that was mislabeled and misrepresented, to take back the places of you that had to basically be rendered not necessarily places of value to make them and they feel good. If you're in a situation to where you're wanting to continue to punish people for how they've treated you, where you're wanting to continue to take up arms and fight what you feel like is a just fight because you're righteous in your movement, because you're righteous in your rage, because you feel like you are this prisoner of no crime, you're being this punished being of no crime committed, and you're wanting to convince yourself that you have to continue on carrying on with the art of no thing because you've decided that it is better for you to be in possession of these heavy things that you've allowed yourself to self-identify with because you've been warped with them, because they've been in your environment for so long. Then you're in a situation to where you're not actually going to get to the art of allowed acceptance. And at this time, you have to not just be in a situation to where you're wanting to think about manifesting something into your reality, but not being in the position to where you're willing to accept who it is that you are in your reality, which allows you to honor the fact in the making of you having the ability to shift your reality and to create said desires, which is actually what your allowed acceptance is. I want y'all to give yourself permissions at this time to be in a position to where you are greatly accepting of the thing that has come to you at this point to help move these warped mentalities, to help actually facilitate truth that is being said. If you are in the art of no thing, you are in the space of never being full. You are in the space of always going towards lack because you've digested so much negative energy that you've allowed yourself to be in a position to where you only receiving a thing that could never fill you because it's never been a part of you and it's never had the capacity to actually seed you. When you start to actually rid your vessel, rid your environment, rid your spaces of all of these things that are not of you, you start to recognize the light that lives within. You start to be in a situation to where you could position yourself in environments, even if you do this alone, because a lot of us want the group, a lot of us want the friends, a lot of us want the relationship, a lot of us want the community. We want having all of these said support systems. But what we have to be willing to do is we have to be willing to do it by ourselves first. And a lot of you will be able to be in a situation by taking these steps and honoring yourself and being okay within yourself enough to say, this is what's living within me at this time. I know myself to be worthy. I know myself to be valuable. I know that I'm not the person that these people labeled me as. And the reason why they had to label me as these things is because they didn't know who it was or what it was exactly that they were actually in the possession of. They never actually knew me. So even as I rid myself and purge these energies that I've been so attached to, and I allowed myself to start healing, I honored the places that I previously misinterpreted as ugly, wanting to have some type of dual process because of the mislabeling. I honor the space and the lack of judgment that these people had when they encountered me, understanding that they only wanted to label me as these things because they needed to have something that they could identify with me so they could actually be in this space where they felt like they had a right to compete with me in the first place. Some of y'all have to be in a situation where you stand up proud in knowing that the only reason why people have come up against you is because they knew that they could never defeat you. And the only reason why they actually tried to come at you on a mental plane, why they try to come at you on a programming state, why they try to group together, the reality that people had to group together to come against you makes you need to be in a space where you can start to honor who it is and how powerful you really are. If it took more than one, if it took more than three, if it took more than five, if it took a whole community to basically decide that you was the person who did something when you have been a victim, okay, in a circumstance where you've allowed yourself to continue to be victimized, where you've allowed yourself to continue to be oppressed, where you've allowed yourself to continue to be trapped and warped in what these people are saying, you will realize that I am empty in this space and this space isn't filling me. So when I remove myself from this space, I'm no longer victim because you could never speak over me because you never knew me. Ashayo, you could never speak over me because you never knew me. And the more I actually get to know myself, the more I actually get to regulate within my own system, within my own nervous system, the more I actually get to be present for me, with me. I actually am aware of the light that lives within. And the more that I associate with that light, and the less that I associate with these things that I've been actually in community of, in home spaces of, the things that I wanted to make safe, but I couldn't make safe because they didn't deem me as worthy of their protection. The more I allow myself to move away from the things that are no longer attached to the realization of who I know myself to be, and I start to honor the things that I'm actually welcoming in, I be okay with the fact that I'm in a space of feeling something that I may not exactly know or understand what this feeling is, but I'm okay with allowing acceptance, which is what we could start to look at manifestation as, which is allowed acceptance. I allow and I accept this new light that's coming into my life. I allow and I accept this new alignment that's coming for me. I allow and I accept these new blessings that are here for me. I allow and I accept what it is that I did not actually allow myself to live in because of how I was trying to feed they. I'm no longer a supporter or a contributor to they, and I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be existing in the living light that I am resonating with. And that is something that you get to choose at this time. Choose to heal. Y'all, the link is in my bio if y'all want to inner child healing. It is intensive, it's intentional, and it's definitely source guided, allow yourself to be at a rate to where you are honoring the fact that you are moving towards the truth of you, being full representation of that, being full authentic measure by expressing yourself at this rate, because that is how you honor your living light. This has been beautiful. I hope y'all could receive this message, like, comment, and share if it's valuable to you, and share how you are living your light out right now. Peace. This is Star.